everybody, boys, girls, everyone in between. I am Ellie, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. It's great to see you again. Have you had your haircut? Looks lovely. Basically, right, the other day, my boyfriend did a video where he was shouting out a bunch of smaller YouTubers. It's a bit of a tag that's going around on YouTube at the moment, started by JShlatt. And my boyfriend said that I was one of his favorite small YouTubers. Thank you so much. That's definitely cheating at the game, but whatever. And he also tagged me in the end of the video and said that I need to do this video too. And I'm here for it. It just feels so wholesome. It feels like bringing the YouTube community together in a way that I feel like the YouTube community hasn't been in a while. So I'm ready to hype up some people. I'm ready to talk about some creators that I love. Jack only did like 5 people in his video. Honestly, I just couldn't stop myself. Once I started writing a list, I was like, oh, and her, and him, and that one, that one. So I'm gonna start with a very recent find of mine. And when I say recent, I mean recent. Like I literally only found her channel like 2 days ago, but her content is so well researched and so high production that I'm almost close to throwing around like an industry plant allegation. I'm joking. I don't think that's really a thing on YouTube. I mean, it has been at points where companies have like tried to act like they're an individual, but anyway, that's not what this is. The channel is called It's Not About Hollywood, and this is a woman named Andala, which is the cutest name ever, by the way. She goes by AD sometimes, but she does deep dives into different celebrity pop culture moments, whether it's the very unlikely relationship between Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. She also did a few videos on the Lizzo backup dancer lawsuit situation. But the video of hers that I loved the most, that really got me into this channel, was her video about Bianca Censori, Kanye West's very naked wife. Andala wanted to try and find out if Bianca is a victim of domestic abuse, which honestly seems very likely given Kanye's past, and it is very concerning to see the situation that she is in. But there is also a whole other side to this story that I never knew about, and Andala uncovers it. And the hypothesis is that maybe Bianca could be the mastermind of this whole thing, and she is just using Kanye West to get her name out there and get a bit more attention around her nylon brand. I never knew that she had a nylon brand, but she does. She has a brand where she makes different clothing pieces and jewelry pieces out of nylon. And when you think about it, all of those like next to naked outfits that she's always wearing, they're always made of nylon. I don't know, it is very conspiracy theory kind of grounds, but trust me, just watch Andala's video. Like, she goes into a lot of depth with it, and it was just so interesting to me. I do want to clarify though that I do think that there's some fucked up shit going on with Kanye when it comes to Bianca, but I just thought this was quite an interesting like little corner of the story that I'd never heard of. But just in general, I'm saying go check out the channel It's Not About Hollywood. I honestly can't believe that that channel isn't more popular. Like, I've been binge watching these videos like in the shower. I'm willing to water damage my laptop to be able to watch this content. Ooh, and now, since I am officially a Sims 4 creator myself, I am gonna shout out one of my favorite Sims creators. That's not Stepho Sims, because she's my friend in real life, but honestly, she is one of my favorite Sims creators. But I'm telling myself I'm not really allowed to shout out people that I know in real life in this video, because that feels like cheating, even though my boyfriend did that. One of my favorite Sims creators in the whole entire world is Whiny Brit, my queen. Literally one of the funniest content creators I've ever come across, not even just in the Sims world. She is so funny, and she is evil to her Sims, like for real. She's always doing challenges like, can a family survive on a child's income in The Sims, or getting pregnant with every married man in town, and how much can you inbreed a family in The Sims 4? Yeah, she's crazy. These are all questions that I never knew that I had about the Sims world, but I'm so glad that she is really testing the limits of that game. She's just so entertaining, and she's British, of course, Whiny Brit. I love her. Okay, I want to get a little bit more serious for a moment because I want to talk about my biggest and longest girl boss inspiration, a lady that makes educational videos that have changed my life. Patricia Bright, or more specifically, her channel called The Break, where she does like finance and business advice. She shares her journey as a young female hustler, and she has been one since she was young. She teaches you all the lessons that she learned in life, sometimes the hard way. And honestly, Patricia Bright is one of YouTube's veterans. I don't know how many of you will have been around when she was like a makeup fashion creator, but she has been around for years, man. I remember watching her videos when it was like the makeup stuff, and now she is just big business mogul. She's incredible. These days, The Break is a bit more like a podcast format, which is still great, but when I first found her channel, she was doing these like 10-15 minute snippets of wisdom. And if you scroll back on her channel, it's all still there, all the videos that I fell in love with. And I do still like her current content, but it was those short, snappy, educational videos that I loved. If you're wanting to set up a passive income or get into investing or get out of debt or even just like budget and make more money in general, she has a video for everything. Education on these kind of things can be quite difficult to find, especially for like young women that are doing it all themselves. I mean, I never went to uni or anything like that. I have been doing all this girl boss shit with no guidance from anyone. So I was thanking my lucky stars when I found The Break YouTube channel. So if you're a businessy gal, a financy gal, someone that's looking to get into all of that kind of ish, then check out The Break. And on the topic of educational channels, because honestly, that is like my favorite genre of YouTube, is like very educated people making videos that are easier to digest for people that haven't been to uni and people that don't know that much on a topic, you know? And next up, I want to talk about my queen, Psychology with Dr. Anna, a channel that I think so many of you guys would love if you like my main channel. She has a doctorate in clinical psychology, and she takes all of that deep information that she has learned from studies and essays and papers, all those hours in school, and she makes it digestible and easy to understand for the layman like myself. Her content covers relationship dynamics a lot of the time. She decodes cycles of abuse or abusive tactics. She'll talk about narcissism and how to identify warning signs. But it's not all about relationships. Sometimes she talks about self-esteem and friendship breakups and how to be happier, healthy habits, all backed by science and research and psychology. And she also blends all of this psychology knowledge with pop culture, which is what I love the most. She recently did a video on the whole like Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni smear campaign and the psychology behind that. She also did a video on the Ariana Grande weight discourse that is going around the internet right now, and this was an especially effective video because Dr. Anna comes from a place of experience. She was talking about her own struggles with disordered eating. I'm sorry to bring the Ariana Grande stuff up, by the way. That was just a video of Dr. Anna's that really stuck with me, I think, especially because the Ariana Grande stuff affects me, girl. It affects me too. And it really breaks my heart because I've always loved Ariana so much. She is my JShlatt. But seeing her these days makes me think some unhealthy things. And it just makes me sad. I do want to clarify before I move on that we don't know if Ariana Grande is actually suffering from disordered eating or anything like that, but that's just kind of how my brain is affected by seeing her at the moment is all. I just love her. I just worry for her. Like, she is my JShlatt. In fact, speaking of my JShlatts, let's move on to another YouTuber. One of my all-time favorite creators that I have watched religiously for years, and this one is niche. This one, some of you are gonna be like, girl, what the frick? One of my favorite YouTubers of all time is the Autistic Mystic. He is exactly what his name says. He is a spiritual practitioner, tarot reader. To be honest, I don't know what he would label himself as, so I don't want to label him and get it wrong. But basically what he does on YouTube is like monthly tarot card readings for each zodiac sign. And of course he's reading the tarot cards, but he's also like channeling spirit and channeling downloads himself. I can already feel so many of you being like, girl, what the fuck? None of this is real. I believe in it, okay? It is very woo-woo, and I know it's not everyone's thing, but I just can't explain how connected I feel to this man through the screen. He has been with me in my life for years, for like over 3 years. He predicted that Jack was gonna come into my life like 3 years ago. He kept talking about this individual that was going to appear, and it's just crazy. He also predicted like a huge work shakeup for me in January. And look at me, I'm not on my main channel. And I'm also leaving my current management, which you guys obviously wouldn't see because it's all happening behind the scenes, but that was something that has been very upsetting, very stressful, something that I didn't see coming. It's crazy because his videos tend to come out like at the start of the month, so I'll sit and watch them in the first week of the month and he'll be saying all this shit and I'm like, I don't even know how that's gonna pop up in my life. And then by the time the next one rolls around, I'll watch last month's and be like, fuck, it all happened. I just love him so much. I actually have some of his merch. Where will I have put that? Oh, look. The autistic mystic! I don't wear it often because I don't want people to think that I'm calling myself the autistic mystic because, well, I mean, I tried to get an autism diagnosis and she said, you know what? I don't think I've ever talked about this on YouTube. I might do a video about it, but I tried to get an autism diagnosis and she was like, you're right around the borderline, so I'm not going to give you the diagnosis. Okay, so I'm just not quite autistic enough. But yeah, regardless of whether I am actually autistic or not, I'm definitely not a mystic. So, you know what? Jack keeps telling me to maybe try and get an autism diagnosis again, or like at least a second opinion, because he doesn't quite trust that lady's first opinion. I don't know, it's all just stress for me, innit? Like, it just really stressed me out that she was like, yeah, you're pretty autistic, but just not autistic enough for me to like give you the diagnosis. I don't know, so I'm not diagnosed. Anyway, one thing I do want to say on the topic of like spiritual practitioners online, tarot readers and stuff like that, they are not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. I watched a bunch of different psychics and tarot readers that I didn't quite mesh with the way that I mesh with Austin. His name is Austin. You might not resonate with someone's readings, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's all bullshit. It just means that you need to find a reader that is in tune with you. And I found mine. Austin is mine. Honestly, I went through so many different like tarot YouTubers and stuff until I found Austin, and now he's practically the only one I watch. Although I do want to give a little honorable mention shout out to the Gem Goddess. She is another great tarot YouTuber. She's so beautiful. She's just so beautiful. She's like a princess. Anyways, let's switch up the vibe a little bit. I want to talk about a comedy creator who is quite new to the game, but she is going to be massive. Get in there early, girls. Her name is Paige Camelin. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with Paige Camelin. If you know Tana Moja or the Cancelled podcast, you might know that Paige was actually Tana's assistant, I think for a couple of years, but she has very recently left that job and she's on her own like little influencer journey, and I love that for her. She's just started her own channel where she does like 10 to 15 minute like just talking vids. Like, it just feels like sitting on FaceTime to a friend. She is so funny. She is quite brain rot humor, which I know is not for everyone, but it is for me. Like, I just think she's amazing, and she's so beautiful. She looks like Billie Eilish. With the big t-shirt, Billie Eilish. I just think Paige is so relatable, but also so cool. Like, I know I'm not as cool as her, but it feels like she is my bestie. She's also just hilarious. You need to go and check her out. Next, I want to shout out a booktuber, a friend of mine. I know I said I wasn't gonna shout out friends, but I'm making an exception for this one. Georgia Reads. This is a little play on her name because some of you might recognize her as Georgia Marie. She has a true crime channel, and me and her go way back, bruv. We have been friends for years now. We were honestly like two of the first British true crime YouTubers. It feels weird to imagine a world where true crime was like a small niche genre that people didn't understand, but it was once upon a time, and we were like some of the only girlies in it, and it was back when like YouTube was demonetizing all the true crime videos because they didn't understand it. We have both been doing that shift for the longest time, and me and Georgia always joke that we are like the same person in different bodies, and that theory rings true again because whilst I am on my true crime break from my main channel, so is she. She has put a pause on her true crime and history videos. She does history videos as well, which are really, really interesting, but she's put a pause on those. I will tag that channel down below if you do want to go back and like look at her old content, but like I say, I want to shout out her reading channel. I just find it so interesting that we both kind of like put a pause on true crime and then started talking about books at the same time without saying anything to each other. Like, we must have a lot of like the same planets in common or something in our birth chart, you know? We're just always going through the same shit. But anyway, Georgia's book videos are something very different and fresh. They're mostly LGBTQ focused because she is a lesbian reading sapphic books a lot of the time. But I have to say, my favorite series of her is Lesbian Reads Straight Romance. She reads like all the straight book talk girly, smutty, spicy books, and she just cringes, and it's top tier content. I love that. So yeah, if you want some sapphic book recommendations, or if you just want to watch a lesbian cringe at straight smut, then go there. I'm just now realizing there's only been one man in this whole entire video. You can tell I'm a girl's girl. Fine, we'll talk about a man, shall we? I want to talk about one of my favorite like light entertainment commentary channels. Now, I know that pop culture, like TikTok drama, commentary, reaction content is everywhere. It's nothing new, but this guy hits different for me. Cam Kirkham reacts. I have known Cam Kirkham for years. I haven't seen him in a few years, so I feel like I'm allowed to shout out his channel because it doesn't count as nepotism, you know? But he's always just been such a sweet and fun guy, and I love the way that he covers topics. His channel is never too heavy. Even when he's covering heavy stories and themes, just like the way that he is, he does it really well without being disrespectful, without being dismissive, but he still just keeps things quite light. I don't know how he does it, but that's why I love consuming the content from him rather than other commentary reaction kind of channels. We all have our favorite sources to get this kind of like brain rot news from. I hope he doesn't take offense to that, but sometimes it is a bit brain rot talking about like the newest TikTok drama. We don't need to know about all that shit, but I like to hear about it, especially from Cam. He's cheeky, he's Geordie, he's funny. He also does Reddit videos, if that's your thing. Big shout out to Cam Kirkham. He has a main channel as well, but honestly, Cam Kirkham Reacts is where I've been living for the past couple of weeks. Oh, actually, I do have another man on this list. 2 men in a row. Wow. Oh, and it's another friend of mine. I've not done well with like not talking about my friends, have I? But it's my magician friend, Dan Rhodes. Dan is actually a massive creator on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. He has like over 20 million subscribers. So I really shouldn't be shouting him out, but his long form content is criminally underrated. He recently linked up with the world's shortest woman and did a bunch of magic tricks for her and vlogged that and put it on his YouTube channel, and I don't know how it hasn't got more views. He also did like a $1 versus $1,000 magic trick video. Just some really cool magic-y concepts. If you're into magic, then my friend Dan Rhodes is such a banger for that kind of content. I'm sure you actually already know who he is if you're into magic, so maybe I didn't need to put this one in there, but big love to Dan. I'm gonna see him this weekend. Woo. He's done magic in person for me and Jack like countless times, and he blows my mind every single time. Also, he's Northern. He's Northern, he's from up near me. He feels like my little brother. The first time I ever met him, I like adopted him. We were on a YouTube trip in Valencia, and I just like took him under my wing, and he was my little brother for the whole thing. And now I just see him as my little YouTube brother. Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire these last 2 because I need a pee. So Emily Lee is another lifestyle, like vloggy, girly creator that I have watched for years. She is so fun, she is so cute. She gets high quite a bit in her videos, which is something that I find so entertaining to watch. I don't know why. I think because it's quite an alien concept to little British me. I mean, it's illegal here. So I think the fact that someone so openly like smokes weed on camera and then like takes a thumbnail of her like this, and like it says in the title, it's like smoke with me 420 blah, blah, blah. And, like I think it's so interesting. Some of my favorite videos of hers are when she smokes, she gets high, and then she'll clean her room, and it's so satisfying. I love watching her complete such a big task, obviously edited down into like 15-20 minutes. It makes me feel so productive. Sometimes I'll put those videos on like while I'm cleaning my own house. Again, it feels like FaceTime with a friend. Naomi Cannibal talks about pop music, and with that, I'm already sold. But she talks about like so many different corners of pop music, people's blow-ups, their flops, like award ceremony recaps, analyzing different albums, different eras. She is just, everything she makes, I gobble it up. And I hope this doesn't sound backhanded because I mean it in a really positive way, but I also love kind of how basic her setup is. She feels like very classic YouTube. She doesn't put music behind the content. She has like a relatively bad quality camera. Peace and love, I'm so sorry baby, but like it's a good thing to me. But she's like filming on a webcam. It just feels like classic YouTube. I feel like I'm really yearning for classic YouTube again recently, which is why I'm loving filming this vid. I don't know, Naomi Cannibal just feels like my own little undiscovered gem that I kind of want to gatekeep, but I'm obviously never gonna gatekeep amazing women from you all. Oh, go on, I'll give you one last bonus mention. And I know I said I wasn't allowed to talk about my friends, even though I've done it a million times. I'm gonna do it once more for you. But Voice Notes with Jordan Teresa is a feminist podcast that I cannot let you miss out on. Bestie Jordan has been in a lot of videos on this channel. In fact, there's an inside joke in our friend group that we have to prove that she is our friend online because for some reason she never has any airtime in my videos. She's always like, it's because I can't be funny on command. I never say anything funny in the vlogs. She's hilarious, by the way, but maybe she just gets in her head. I don't know. But her podcast is peak FaceTime with a friend kind of content. I know I've said that a few times, but Jordan. I mean, maybe it is because she is my friend. Maybe that's why I feel like that. But the kind of stuff she talks about in this podcast is so relatable for girlies at our age. She kind of documented her breakup in that podcast and the stages of it and how she was like getting back out into dating and dating apps. She talks sex and politics and social media, beauty standards, everything. She recently talked about the back and forth that she's been having in her own head about wanting cosmetic surgery. And she's actually come to a point where she's like, no, I'm not gonna get it. I'm just gonna learn to love these parts of me. And I love that. I know it's kind of hypocritical coming from boob job vlog girl, but I think that is a message that we should really be spreading. That's something that I want to promote a lot more, to be fair. Like, I know I've had procedures, but they were just to get rid of loose skin. There are quite a few bits of my body that I look at now and I'm a little bit insecure. I mean, like, just looking at my arms, I still have like little rolly arms. And that's something that I personally am trying to learn to love rather than thinking about getting surgery for it. I really don't think I'm ever gonna get any other kind of cosmetic surgery. It really was just to kind of like put my body back together. Sometimes I do feel a bit like Frankenstein, but it's fine, it's cute, it's unique. But anyway, that concludes my shout outs of some smaller, perhaps niche YouTubers that I love. Let me know if you watch any of these people, or if there's any other YouTubers that you would recommend to me now that you've seen my taste in YouTubers. Oh, and I have to nominate some other YouTubers to do this video because it's a little tag, of course. Making the YouTube community strong again, or something like that. So first of all, I want to nominate all of the YouTubers that I shouted out in this video. Let's keep the cycle going. Oh, plus Jack Edwards. I just want to rope him in for no reason. It'd be a good second channel video for you, King. And actually, since the nomination thread so far has been just boys, started with JShlatt, went to my boyfriend, and now it's at me, I want to send it in a more girly direction. So I'm just going to reel off a bunch of girls that I would love to make this video. Eleanor Bateman, Loie Lane, Hayley Pham, Anna Marie Forcino, Saffron Barker, Anastasia Kingsnorth, Flossie, Lucy Moon, Unjaded Jade, all of you, the challenge is yours. Do you accept it? Sorry, I just hit the mic. Oh, go on. And an honorary girly, Adam McIntyre. I'd like to see you do this too. To all of the people that I just nominated, it doesn't have to be a main channel if this kind of content doesn't fit on your main channel. It can be a second channel video. It could be a little segment in your usual content. It could even be a YouTube short or something. I don't know, just something to link the community together. As you can tell, I'm really, really excited by this concept. I think the YouTube community needs a tag like this. In big 2025, that's what's going to revive us. Anyways, I've yapped for long enough now. If you want any other videos kind of in this style, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!